Now, summary time. Now let's summarize what we have learned today. First, we talked about GM food. GM food are genetically modified food. They can be broadly defined as food are produced from crops whose genetic makeup has been altered through a process called recombinant DNA or gene splicing to give a plant a desirable trait. Scientists, economists, and agricultural and food industry experts give genetically modified food credit for such traits as ease of growth, high yields, sturdiness, and rich in nutrients. Genetically modified food have also received criticism from scientists, environmentalists, and consumer groups. These people either question the motivation of development of GM food, worry about bad effects of GM food imposing on the health of animals and humans, or concerns over the harm GM food bring to the environment. However, the long-term benefit and adverse effect of GM food cannot be accurately predicted presently due to people's lack of complete understanding of GM food, which should be rendered by the relevant scientists, health authorities, and industries. Then, we talk about the structure of the test. In developing an essay of such a controversy, they also provide us with a well-organized exposition, illustrated by short and brief sentences serving as the top sentence of each paragraph in both benefits and risks part. Moreover, in order to clarify the disputed issue, they also showed his readers something truthful about it. Examples are adopted here to transform the abstract idea into concrete facts. We'll learn a way of posing examples. Last, we elaborated a way of introducing pros and cons of a disputed issue. As what I have said at the very beginning, GM food are more commonly found than animals, but the genetic engineering technology evolves. Things may be different. Here comes a video.
Today I want to talk about design, but not design as we usually think about it. I want to talk about what is happening now in our scientific biotechnological culture, where for really the first time in history, we have the power to design bodies, to design animal bodies, to design human bodies. In the history of our planet, there have been three great waves of evolution. The first wave of evolution is what we think of as Darwinian evolution. So, as you all know, species lived in particular ecological niches, in particular environments, and the pressures of those environments selected which changes through random mutations in species were going to be preserved. Then human beings stepped out of the Darwinian flow of evolutionary history and created the second great wave of evolution, which was we changed the environment in which we evolved. We altered our ecological niche by creating civilization. And that has been the second great couple 100,000 years, 150,000 year flow of our evolution. By changing our environment, we put new pressures on our bodies to evolve, whether it was through settling down in agricultural communities, all the way through modern medicine. We have changed our own evolution. Now we're entering a third great wave of evolutionary history, which has been called many things: intentional evolution, evolution by design, very different than intelligent design, whereby we are actually now intentionally designing and altering the physiological forms that inhabit our planet. So I want to take you through a kind of whirlwind tour of that, and then at the end talk a little bit about what some of the implications are for us and for our species as well as our cultures because of this change. Now, we actually have been doing it for a long time. We started selectively breeding animals many thousands of years ago. And if you think of dogs, for example, dogs are now intentionally designed creatures. There isn't a dog on this earth that's a natural creature. Dogs are the result of selectively breeding traits that we like. But we had to do it the hard way in the old days by choosing offspring that looked a particular way and then breeding them. We don't have to do it that way anymore. This is a beefalo. A beefalo is a buffalo cattle hybrid. And they are now making them, and someday, perhaps pretty soon, you will have beefalo patties in your local supermarket. This is a geep, a goat-sheep hybrid. The scientists that made this cute little creature ended up slaughtering it and eating it afterwards. I think they said it tastes like chicken. This is a kama. A kama is a camel-llama hybrid, created to try to get the hardiness of a camel with some of the personality traits of a llama. And they are now using these in certain cultures. Then there's the liger. This is the largest cat in the world, the lion-tiger hybrid. It's bigger than a tiger. And in the case of the liger, there actually have been one or two that have been seen in the wild. But these were created by scientists using both selective breeding and genetic technology. And then finally, everybody's favorite, the zorse. None of this is photoshopped. These are real creatures. And so one of the things we have been doing is using genetic enhancement or genetic manipulation of sort of normal selective breeding pushed a little bit through genetics. And if that were all this was about, then it would be an interesting thing. But something much, much more powerful is happening now.
You are to write an exposition on the topic, are genetically modified animals panacea or poison, based on the video you have just watched. It better illustrate with short and brief sentence serving as the topic sentence of each paragraph as the author did, and make examples to transform the abstract ideas into concrete facts. I suggest you to follow the model of the test. First, you introduce the controversy, then clarify the supportive factors, and after that, analyze the opposition. So consequently, you can successfully come to the conclusion. You can resort to the expression we have learned introducing controversy. People from different backgrounds should put different interpretations on the same case. Just as the saying goes, so many people, so many minds. It's quite understandable that views on this issue vary from person to person. In the Panacea part, you can illustrate like this. A majority of people are of the opinion that GM animals are bliss. Some people contend that GM animals have proved to bring many advantages. When it comes to GM animals, most people believe that they are helpful to us. People who advocate that GM animals are panacea have their sound grounds. When it comes to poison, it is quite convincing by saying, there is a public opposition nowadays over the issue of GM animals. There's a lot of saying in GM animals have advantage, but we have more urgent problem to deal with. There who criticize GM animals argue that they are detrimental to ecology system. With all this, I guess you've already mastered the way of designing and developing an exposition on a disputed issue. So I just wound up here. Thank you.